Hey, come on. Come on. Hey. What? Here we go, here we go, here we go now. Hey. Let's chit chat, this is the show now. Come on. Bad black mama's gonna let you know now. Hey. Here we go, here we go, here we go now. Come on. Let's chit chat, let's chit chat, hey. Let's chit chat, sis. Hey, what's up? Let's chit chat, let's chit chat, let's chit chat, sis. Hey.
So, hey, how's everything going for everybody today?
Much better today.
Doing well.
Yeah. You said much better.
I ain't told nobody off all weekend. I praise God. Praise God.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
That's an accomplishment, Celeste. That's an accomplishment.
It is. It really is. But yeah,
that's good. Because you want to be joyful for the holidays. And then you know what? I think that when the first of the year comes, that's when you get like in a mind frame of like, okay, you know what? Things are starting over. This is how I think. Maybe it's kind of stupid, but in January, I have to like make myself feel joyous because it's like the first of the year. I got to get myself rolling to do things. Christmas time, Thanksgiving time, I get really happy because it's the holidays and things are just like slowed down and I want to be in a good mood. I don't want to be in a shitty mood, but so
holidays are stressful for me.
Is it? Why? Oh, I never make it stressful, never, because I'm just happy.
It's traffic, it's people all over the place, the kids be at home.
Oh yeah, that's stressful anytime.
Yeah, you have little ones.
I have a 5-year-old and a 14-year-old.
We're empty nesters. It doesn't bother us. We're empty nesters.
Grown ones. Yeah, so
we're sending you love.
Please send me all the vibes.
Yeah, it'll get better.
It will get better. You're gonna love this time when they get,
when they move out.
Mm-hmm. When they get up and out.
Write a check or use a debit card. Oh Lord.
Mm-hmm. And you just think of Christmas Eve as the time to relax and chill.
Yes, I don't have to be in the closet wrapping gifts.
Yes. That when you get past that stage, when you just feel like Christmas Eve, you just sitting back chilling and looking at TV. That is
and making drinks you never made before. With
holiday drinks for no reason. Yes,
and food. And
the food be there the next day because no one's eating
there
it.
The next day. And you don't have to clean up on the floor, shit on the floor from the kids, stuff on the floor. So that's priceless. So that's why I love the holidays, man. I was like you with my kids. My kids was like twins because they were 15 months apart. So it was like having twins. I did everything with them together. And, Christmas time was like, oh my God, it was hectic. But now I could care less. It's like, that's my time of the year. So I'm really looking forward to it. So how's everybody else doing besides the holidays coming up?
Good. I'm headed home.
Thank God, Mel, because Mel been out here as a warrior.
Been out here in these streets. Ooh, it's been rough, but I'm heading home. So I'm excited.
Heading home. So, we have our normal question of the day, and this one came from you, Mel. So, let's just check it out, okay?
Okay.
Good question. So thank you, Eddie. I mean, very handsome young man. That's actually your future son-in-law, Mel. So good question. So that was a multi-level question. So Mel, you go first. And
I think it's a good question because we're dealing with situationships now. This modern age dating and romance is all about situations. And it's not the same as the traditional situation where you work towards getting married. Sometimes people just want partnerships. You don't necessarily want marriage. You don't necessarily want children. And so the question that he's asking is multifaceted. It just depends on who you are asking. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Celeste?
Well, after I stopped paying attention to his muscles, what I heard him to say because at first I was like, okay. So I definitely agree with Mel because from my view, and the people that are in my circle, in my age group, are all looking for partners. They're not interested in, or maybe they're just having bad luck with it. But we've made a decision that, you know, I just don't want a partner. I don't want to do the whole kit and caboodle thing anymore. So kids too, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
And they're looking for partners.
Chauncey?
I guess when I heard his question, I thought that it was more so definitely for the younger generation. I think it just depends on where you are in your life, right? So Celeste, you know, we're all in the same age category or whatever. I don't want the drama, right? I can kind of get to know the one person, know their ins and outs. But that's an ongoing thing. I think having the thought process that it's not ever changing, it's an ever changing, evolving a relationship is, right? We get to know new parts of our partners all the time. So it's not just oh, I know how you are and that's how it's going to be forever. So do you have the curiosity and the wherewithal to just withstand and just carry that out? Or do you want to bounce from thing to thing to thing and just kind of, for me, I don't want that for myself, because I don't want to have to get to know somebody new, and my menopause don't work like that.
Oh shit. Okay.
It just don't work like that.
Natasha?
I think that there is, from what I can say, from what I've heard, there is not a lot of positive marriages, like role models to look up to. So right now, everything just looks like gloom and doom. It looks like after a certain amount of years, it's going to end anyway, and the percentages are very high. So it's like, okay, well, if I already know that's going to happen, why am I going to even go that route? Because we can just be together and be life partners and not switch into that, because a lot of people, and I guess I'm in that age bracket. I think I'm in that age bracket. And so what? I'm in that, you know, partnership. Not a lot of people around me are married, you know. So what it looks like is we see people get married, and when they get married, things change and the relationship changes, and then they end up like not liking each other and getting a divorce. So it could be like, we've been together for 10, 11 years and things have been great. As soon as we get married, which I have seen this with a friend, as soon as we get married, all of a sudden shit hits the fan and we can't stand each other and things have changed and now we're divorced. We probably should have never gotten married and we'd still be together. So the marriage, it's not portrayed like it used to be portrayed anymore.
Okay, I'll close this question. Marriage is rough, and everybody on here has had some experience with marriage. I don't know about you, Natasha, but marriage is rough. It's not to be taken lightly, because, you know, I don't know. I would think, and I always say this all the time, and I tell my husband this all the time. I have a great husband. Me and Mel talked so long yesterday, and I gave her like almost like my backstory on how I met my husband. My husband is like my soulmate, and he's my soulmate for a lot of reasons, and but I would tell you, if I didn't have my husband, I don't think I would marry again, because you know, just with the good you get a lot of uncertainty too. You see what I'm saying? And I think that I'm just a person that's so set in my ways. I could be good with being, you know, chill by myself, and, you know, in a environment. And I'm not saying like constantly dating. You see what I'm saying? I think that I could just be chill with just picking and choosing whatever I wanted, you know, and be happy with that. You know, I really could. I'm thankful that I have my husband. But I wouldn't be looking for a marriage. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? I wouldn't be looking for that, because, you know, I think I'm just living my life the way I would want to live in, and I would be cool with that. It would be like, I would chill with that Negro. Oh, excuse me. Well, you know, you know, it wouldn't be no like claims or anything. Sometimes it becomes too much, you know what I mean? I want to just have my control over my life, and I don't want to be controlled by anybody else. I'm just thankful that I have what I have, and you know, so be it. But that was a really good question. So tell your son-in-law we appreciate it. Very handsome young man, and hopefully we get some more questions from him, because you know he's good on the eyes. I'll say that. He's so good on the eyes. Okay.
Oh God.
That's important. So tonight we got Natasha with us, and Natasha is going to lead the ship tonight. And we're going to talk about sexual dysfunctions with the ladies, us women, all through our life journey. And Natasha, we're going to let you take control of this, because I know I have questions. And before we even started this, we have had a brief discussion on just the sexual dysfunctions that may occur, or things that happen in our lives that may occur that make you think that you have a sexual dysfunction, or may even have a sexual dysfunction that you're not even aware that you have one. But let me not ramble on. Natasha, welcome to the porch. How are you today, Miss Lady?
Thank you. I'm good. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to chat and laugh and giggle and all the things and answer all the questions.
Get a lot of that. You can get a lot of hold on.
So I like this topic, and I know we were starting to get onto it before we hit record, but I don't like the word dysfunction, because it immediately puts you in a negative headspace. Absolutely. And just because something is not functioning the way you would want it to function, because everybody's body functions differently. So what works for me may not work for y'all. It's not a bad thing. Like, right. It just means that something is going on in your life, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, that you just have to like realign, and but you have to be understanding and be willing to put in the work. So I don't like the word dysfunction, but you know, neither here nor there. It is what it is. But I think the misconception is that each phase has a different thing going on, but it can happen at any age. Like I don't necessarily think there is a phase. And I mean, of course you have like your menopause and things like that. And then after you have a baby and when you're pregnant, those have significant things. But if you ask the right person, they can tell you that they've never gone through some of that stuff. So it really just depends on the person, honestly.
Yeah. I know some people say they're not going through menopause, right? They're my age, and I don't even want to talk to them, because I don't even want to. I don't.
Why would you throw that in the face?
I don't get no hot flashes. I'm like, bitch, you lying. You know. I don't want to talk to your ass. You talking about you ain't not? I'm cold. I was like, you cold? You want to feel some hot shit? Come on over here. I'm gonna let you.
Right.
Just saying all kinds of stuff, but that's just me. You know what? I mean, I'm hating on them because they don't suffer like I suffer. But you know, I'm just trying to be kind to them, because
I like how Dr. Natasha said that, you know, it's not necessarily dysfunction, because that has a negative connotation. But I'm also thinking that especially in our particular age group, and that's where we can come from. I mean, we've been younger women, thank goodness, right? And we are where we are today. But like, maybe sometimes just not having the desire, or not just wanting to be bothered, that's not necessarily a dysfunction. It's just how you feel, right? It could be based off of emotion. And I think sometimes I resent that the indication that everything is related to menopause, or because when I have sex, I totally enjoy it, right? So I don't think my menopause is interfering, but it doesn't mean I don't have desires, and still don't have dreams, and still don't desire my husband or anything like that. But then some days I just don't feel like it. And is that a dysfunction, or does that mean that there's something wrong, or can I just not feel like it? And because I am the age that I am, owning the fact that I just don't feel like it. Whereas when I was married in 28, I felt obligated that you know, my husband at the time, whenever he asked, I needed to be Johnny on the spot, even if I didn't feel like it.
Johnny on the spot.
Well, because that's the the intimation is that you have to be ready all the time. And so it is some sort of connection or relation to how you feel about the person, just because you may not feel like being bothered, right?
Mhm.
But because I am mature now, I own the fact that I may not feel like being bothered, right? It don't mean I don't love you. It don't mean I don't desire you. I'm just not in the mood.
Very,
I'm not
very much
Suzanne
so.
Summers, doing it 3 times a day with my husband. So
First of all, Chauncey, I appreciate you calling me a doctor. It sounds so nice, but I'm not a doctor. I don't want anyone coming for me later talking about you're not a doctor. But that sounds nice. Maybe later in life. But yeah, when I work with clients and they tell me things like I wasn't in the mood, but I did it anyway, or it was painful and I just sat through it. I'm like, no, we don't, because what you're doing is you're teaching your body you're teaching your body that response. And so every time you go into a sexual experience, your body, your mind is going to be like, this is going to hurt, or I don't want to do this. So it's like, if you don't want to do it, like, just don't do it. Like, it's fine. But then it goes into that whole ego, your ego, and then you're worried about their ego. And sometimes if you're going to be intimate with someone that intimate, you have to take ego out of it and honor yourself and honor your body. And sometimes some of these concerns and these issues, they literally just come from the fact that we don't do what our body wants us to do. We try to make it do something else. Therefore, every time you go into that situation, of course you're not going to enjoy it, because you've been having painful sex for the past year with your partner instead of trying to figure out what your body needs and where that pain is coming from. You just suffer through it. So now it's a response.
Okay. Yeah, I have to admit, I've never done that, Natasha.
Good. Don't do it.
Because for me, anything that has never felt right, I go get it checked out. I know my doctor used to be like that. I mean, what else are you asking me? Like, because I would come with all kinds of questions. I have to admit, when, in that committed relationship, when the topic of even anal sex came up and stuff like that, I'm at the doctor's office like, yeah, like, tell me some stuff, right? I can know what I heard, I can know what I read, but tell me from a medical perspective.
Right.
So if I say no, am I within my rights to say no? Or am I within, because I have this concern, am I just being prudish or whatever? So we've been able to have open dialogue, but I've never felt the pressure to do anything I've never wanted to do. So I'm fortunate in that aspect.
That's amazing, because some people will not have conversations with their doctor to save their life.
If you had the doctor me and Celeste had, you're going to have that conversation.
He's going to have it with you. He's going to have it with you.
You're going to have it with you, because I'm
the doctor I got.
That's the first thing he asked when I'm like, I got to see him this week, and I'm like, okay, because I know what he can ready to say. He gonna say this. I mean, I'm like, is you an anal sex like thing or something? Stop asking me that. You know what I mean? Too
Ask you
old.
about that? He talks to me about other things. He goes, okay, I know you're not married. I hope you're enjoying yourself.
He don't even talk like that to me. Like, I just be like looking at him.
But yourself. I'm like, dang.
He trying to tell you, use it or lose it.
There you go.
Oh, well, he's not gonna let you lose it. I'm gonna tell you that, right? You won't lose it with him, because he's gonna tell you, you need to practice on yourself, practice all the time. Make sure. Am I lying, Celeste?
Not at all.
No.
I think I lost my desire. He said, no, this is what you need to do. Get the mirror, touch it. I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Oh, he knows some things about some things.
He does. I'm telling you, he birthed my son, and my son 24 years old. And I'm telling you, he has never changed. Never changed. When I see him, my shoulders just shrug down like, here he go. Because he.
Natasha, let me explain this to you. Kimmy live in New Jersey. Kimmy, where your doctor?
Virginia.
Wow.
I'm going to hit the road Tuesday morning to go see my doctor, and I never depart from him. Never. No, that tells you something. I drive to go to stay with him, and he is a senior now. But I'm telling you, let me tell you this, and I'm gonna go on it because Mel, you next. You next on the deck. When I had my son, he used to come in the delivery room with Armani suits on. And he was fine as hell.
He's fine. Oh yeah, that's the problem.
That's what it is.
The first time when I had my son, this lady came and walking with a cane, and I hadn't even seen him. And she said, "Oh, you ain't gonna have no problem to open your legs to him." I was like, "What?"
That's why I went to see him. She told me about him. Yeah.
I was like, "What?" And then when he asked you all these questions, sure, yes, yeah, I do that, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. No
Well, you know, when I first go to see him, Kim introduced me, right? I'm talking to him, he's doing his thing, and he's going, "Well, have you seen Kim?" I'm like, "Doctor, please don't ask me about Kim. Why you in between? Please don't do that. Like, you gotta stop." He would always ask me, "Okay, how's no, not a good time."
When I tell you, I just be laughing and giggling when I see him. He's like, he said, "I love that you always get Brazilians. It keeps it very beautiful."
Oh Lord.
Yes. I was like,
A lot of information.
but he's okay. But you know, he keeps me from not having sexual dysfunction because he is going to tell you things are not. We can go do some blood tests. We're gonna make sure all things are working properly because we don't want that to not work. So you know,
That's a good doctor.
Yeah, he's a really good doctor, and I know at some point he's not going to be here or he's going to retire. Because Celeste, has he been doing this for 40 plus years?
Oh, I've never opened up to anybody else.
And I mean, I know one day it's gonna come where he's gonna
You heard me, Kim? You heard me, Kim? I've never opened up to anybody else.
Now, you said a couple things before we started about this, I'm not gonna say dysfunction, sexual
concerns.
Concerns.
Okay.
Well, the only concern I have is really I have two questions. One, if I want to fuck all the time, is that a dysfunction? Doesn't matter. Oh, good. Okay, because that's what I like to do. So I'm not dysfunctional there, at least in that category. And if I am not addicted, I don't want to say that. I don't want to use that word because that's a negative word. But if I like to use my vibrator on a regular basis, and no man can satisfy me in the way that a vibrator can, unless you put a battery under his tongue, is that a dysfunction?
It's for me, I'm always thinking it's only a concern if it ends up a concern for you, a concern for your partner, or you're dysfunctional within your life. Like you can't live life because these particular things like have to be happening, or you're not going to work, you're not eating, you're not sleeping. If you can function and live your life, I just don't see why any of these issues. If you need to,
I was going like this. Did I go to work when I did that?
Was I late for work?
Natasha, I'm really thinking about Celeste. I'm thinking about it because I remember a time when the guy was like, "Oh, I'm going to come over. I'm going to do this." I'm like, you know what? I really don't want him to come over. I could just use my vibrator. I can get off way more times than fucking with him. Is that an addiction? Or is that a problem? Is it dysfunction?
No, he was the problem.
Yeah, like if you're having really good sex, you're not going to be concerned about your vibrator. Like that's it'll be
a warm body.
No, if during the very good sex, the vibrator comes.
You can add the vibrator.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I gotta think about that one, but the vibrator became a focus point. Okay.
See,
so the issue is people and not.
I mean, you just don't care much to be around people. Yeah.
It's like, I'm done. Good night. Okay, I get it.
And that could be an issue. Think about it. People could be an issue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you don't want the talking.
The effort to connect with someone.
Right. You don't want the after sex with them because
what does that mean?
Well, because I'm saying, think about all those things, right? It's the difference between really enjoying sex with a person and not enjoying it with the next person, right? It's the experience. It's not just the act, but it's the experience, right? And so you can do a wham bam thank you ma'am, no matter who we are. We could do that, be done be done in a few minutes. Now at 25, I ain't know enough to do a wham bam thank you ma'am and then be pleasured at the end. But at 52, now I know some things and it really don't take that long. So so like, what's up?
Yep. And then it's like, do you want to take the time to show someone what they need to do? Or do you want to just do it yourself? See, that's the thing. Like when it comes to your body, you have to, because your body changes, you have to be in tune with your body. And then you have to tell that person, you can't expect them to just come in there and know. You have to help them navigate your body. If you don't feel like doing that, then you don't feel like doing it. And that's fine. I think we start making these an issue just because we're thinking of what other people would think. And that really doesn't matter.
That must happen when you're younger, because when you over 50, you don't give a shit. I'm telling you, come in there acting crazy if you want to. You be like, what in the world? You don't know what you're doing? Get the hybrid out, turn porn on, and just be like, fuck him, man. They don't care about that person. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what I've learned? I learned that for me, too much alcohol and sex don't mix.
Oh no, that's wrong. That goes really well.
Because now when I think back on it and I think, oh, I was doing all of this, and now when I really think back on it, I'll be like, yeah, no, it wasn't. I didn't do all of that. What was I doing? So, yeah, I've decided not to mix a lot of alcohol. I can't have a little bit. I can't have a whole
just
lot.
enough to relax.
Have a whole lot, you gonna remember what actually happened. You gonna just
I just think that I'm superwoman, and I really was a superwoman. So it's like, yeah, just have you a drink, but don't have 5.
Damn.
It ain't what you thought it was. I'll be like, oh, okay.
Okay, so we talk about some things that cause concern. We was talking about being in the wrong headspace. You know,
I got that problem. I have that concern. So I'm like Ramel. I can have sex every day, all day. That's my thing. However, if something stupid comes out your mouth, I go, I'm a noodle. Like, or if
a noodle.
I mean, I just completely lose. I could be turned on by you. I could desire you and all that stuff. And then you just have this conversation to me that just gives me this whole
turn off.
Out of here.
You need your mind stimulated.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Do that shit. I mean, that's
you need your brain fucked first,
and I could do it,
and everything comes after.
And I mean, if it happens in the restaurant, we doing it in the restaurant. Wherever you stimulate my mind, that's where we fucking. I'm just telling you right now.
Okay, we're not to eat.
You don't. But if you don't do that, or if I feel like you bullshitting me. Like, yo, babe, no, don't do that.
That's a turn off.
This is what it is. That's just, and I think that's a concern.
But why is it a concern?
That's not a concern.
Because I be turned off more than turned on. Because they be working my nerves.
Right. Because men are easy. They can quickly turn you the fuck off.
And I know
very much so.
We joke, but I really don't want you to talk. Like, if this is gonna go well, shut the fuck up. Don't say nothing.
And sometimes that's where you have to bring in that ball and gag.
Oh my goodness. I might have to try that.
Oh, a ball and gag?
I don't know.
Yeah, your domination.
You just bring in the ball. Like, you have to make things work for you. So if it's like they're really easy on the eyes, but when they open their mouth, it's just like, then we're gonna play with some toys, honey. This is what we're gonna do tonight.
Oh God.
I don't have to keep saying just shut the fuck up. I can just
no.
Stick this in your mouth.
You don't even, and if you don't want to get a ball and gag, you can use pantyhose, you can use scarves. Yeah, like
duct tape works.
So it's not a concern.
That is your preference, and your preference is never a concern.
But she made a valid point. You know, I mean, if little things turn you off by the person, you got to just do some preventive measures. You know what I mean? To shut the person up and, do what you need to do to pleasure yourself. You already know they're gonna say something stupid out their damn mouth. Just gag their asses. You know what I mean?
It could be before, Kim. It could be we having dinner and he's looking all good and I'm going, yeah, because I'm more of a dude than he is. So I know in my mind I'm about to get that, right? Yeah, we about to do it. And then he'll say something like, my mother, my baby mother, that bitch. I go, oh shit.
Yeah, no, I'm turned off. I'm yeah.
Because I know you know what,
definitely-
nothing's gonna turn me off. I'm gonna get my orgasm no matter what. You can talk all that shit you want to,
Hello.
and I
Yeah,
don't give a
you
fuck.
gotta
I'm
block
on a
them.
mission. I'm like a horse with blinders on. I gotta hold.
Oh, that's good. I'm gonna call you. But
Yeah, maybe you just tap into that alter ego that just doesn't care. You
Right.
get your ball gag or your scarf or whatever, and you go to town. You think about all the sexy ways I can get you to shut up and get.
But let your hair down and put your iPods in your ear, and he won't even know you have them in your ear. You know what I mean?
That's a good one.
That's
I like
you
that.
know what you want, and he won't even know. And you could be listening to something else, and you be just tearing his ass up. He'd be thinking it's him. You be listening to something else.
Yeah.
And he could be saying the most foolish crap ever, and you won't hear
I'll be
nothing.
having my husband watch this podcast and then be looking at my ears.
Let that hair swing over here. You feel
And
like
I
hear
think
nothing.
I think it bothers me less during
It's the before.
during the day or what, you know, in
Mhm.
my interaction with you, that's what's turned me off. But that's enough about me. I got other issues. So let's see what Chauncey got.
No, I mean, mine is touch, right? So I respond best to touch. And so I may or may not always get the kind of touch that I want, but I respond best to that, right? So it's not a concern, but as Natasha just said, it's about communication. And so, but you know, sometimes when you communicate, they might feel, I hate to say they because I'm married, but sometimes they think it's just that one time, right? You just want that.
Yeah, and they don't like build a habit.
Right. So I think being, you know, just being able to have that conversation and be able to communicate that, you know, this is an ongoing thing. And if you want to arrive like I want to arrive, then, you know, touch away and, you know, find those spots. And well, here the spot is, don't forget, and, you know, touch this one.
Right.
But because the ultimate goal is supposed to be for both of us
Right.
to arrive. But if the only goal is for you to arrive,
that's a problem.
You know, and then now it's this contest, but really it ain't no contest because somebody might always arrive before the other person or whatever. You know, just all of those just coupled in together. So
I hate that come down or come back later. I hate that. That's terrible.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I always have my couples do is have like an exploration session, which is not meant to be sexy. It's literally research. And each person gets a day or a turn, and we literally go from head to toe, different touches, different things to figure out what it is that you like so that they know. And you don't just have to say it, because sometimes speaking it and actually them experiencing your reaction to it is different. So I always tell my clients, like, don't go in here thinking like this is the time to speak up, because it's awkward to do it when you're in the bedroom to kind of the mood. That's not the best place because egos are in there, and you know, you want to be as nice as possible in the act, but outside but outside of it, like, you have to build those moments to where you can keep learning, because you may learn a different spot in those exploration sessions where it's like, I didn't know that roughness, like I liked that, but that got a reaction out of me. Like getting choked. Like if you tighten just a little bit right here, that seems to do something different than if you touch down here.
Kill me.
So well, no, it's just like it's a small thing. They're not gonna kill you. It's sexy.
I think that's a really good point that you bring across, that how many times that we miss out on the opportunity to talk about what is not working.
I never missed the opportunity. That shit wasn't good. It just
take
wasn't
it
good.
too. I take it too.
I mean,
like
honestly, Mel, you're probably one of the people that that inspires me. But you think about it, it takes a lot for a person to tell a person that it's not working. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It does. I would say you two are like my dream, because
but maybe that's something wrong with us, because I will get up.
No, it's not.
What you say you was gonna do?
I will get the hell up. And
yes,
no, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
I will leave you laying there like a bitch and get the fuck.
Exactly. I don't blame you, Celeste.
This ain't. Yeah, I'm gotta go.
Well, it's like
this guy was on top of me.
what you want, and you're able to communicate that. And if it's not up to your expectation, then you're not going to settle for it. That's things I have to teach because I don't know how you guys learned that or how you started exercising that, but
that come with age.
Women are not being taught.
It does come with age. This guy was leaning over me and he did this thing. He hawked up a loogie and started letting it drool. I saw this session is over. And it was just like that.
Yeah, that's a turn off. Get out my house. Because
you should not subject yourself to deal with that kind of shit. I was like, oh no.
Unless you're into that type of kink.
Oh, that's germs. That's nasty.
But I cannot yuck anybody's yum, and there are people out there who like spit, so that's a kink.
But
it was his kink, but it sure wasn't mine.
Right, but he should have told you that before he hawked it and tried to. That's you have a conversation about that. Is it okay for me to spit on you, in your mouth, on your face, or whatever? No, it's not okay. Those are conversations.
And not on my vagina either. Not like that.
Somebody try to
damn loogie.
I had
like you about the hawk spit in the street.
That's that porn stuff. They watch porn and assume that everyone wants to do that. And
it's Kim choking over there.
I had to hit the mute. Somebody do that, they make one be up on the news. So like,
I've had that.
What?
Yeah, I've had that.
So this shit is over.
It's over. Don't talk to me no more either. I ain't joking. I'm like,
I ain't had to say
nasty.
that. Natasha, I can't deal with those kind of things.
And they shouldn't do that. Like, you have to ask people if they want to do that.
I mean, is that sexually concerning? You hear us, because all of us are seasoned women, Natasha. You think about that. We're all over the 5-0 point. So we have no tolerance for bullshit.
And that's what it is. The tolerance is.
You're not going to spit on my vagina.
You're not going to spit on me, period.
It was a hawk spit. It wasn't a regular spit.
If you think that's going to turn you on, you're going to be turned off really quick.
Yeah.
You're going to be turned off really quick. That's not going to fly. You know what I mean?
Babe, I'm about to spit on you. No, don't do that. Okay.
Right, let me get consent from me first before you just start putting your fluids all over me. No.
Exactly.
I'm like, that's not sexy at all. That's
some people it is.
That makes me think of some really nasty shit. I mean, like, some people don't. That makes me think of flus and viruses and shit. And you're putting it on me.
I bet you better not spit no corona, COVID on my ass.
You got corona, you hawk spitting.
And you
like
spit on me.
I've heard and seen. So in order, to get like my license and everything like that, there's a class I have to go through where they literally show you videos of all these things. And so, to get my reaction, so that when I do have clients come to me with kinks and fetishes, there's not a reaction to it. So to me, spitting, it's a kink. And so it's not my kink, but it is a kink. So it doesn't, I guess, like your face. You're like,
okay as long as they're not spitting on us. You spit away.
Right. Let me tell you how much it disgusts me. I'm telling you, when I walk on this walk, I walk in the mornings and stuff, and I see like a big woogie spit on the ground. That made me feel nauseated. You think I want to see that shit on me? Oh no, we may fight.
Yeah,
that's nasty. That's nastiness.
I have a
not on my vagina. You want me to get some kind of like itching shit down there?
It's very disgusting.
To get you to be open and just be.
That's for their bullshit. Now, at this age, I don't have to be open for other people. I just got to care about what the fuck I like. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't have to be care.
I heard a story about women are not supposed to let men hit the bottom of their vagina. For those women who like big penises. And like that, is that a dysfunction or a concern?
Oh, you're talking about the cervix?
Yeah.
When you say the bottom, so that really just depends. For some people, like, you can have a cervical orgasm, and that orgasm kind of it's different. It's different because it goes through the whole body, but some people,
yes, it is.
The cervix is too.
Wait a minute, y'all gotta go back here and explain, because unless you just messing with a little dick person, don't it hit your cervix every time you have sex? I'm lost.
Not every time. Not every time.
No. Some people don't like it because it's tender and it hurts. It doesn't. Everyone doesn't enjoy it. Mm-hmm.
And some men don't even want to do it like that. So
because it's hard. Like mine, with having my cervix, it hurts. I do not like that. So I don't like that extra pounding, digging deep. I don't like that because it really does hurt. And now I'm just like, okay,
it hurts so good.
No, it just hurts.
I mean, the cervix is very, it's sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
It's sensitive because, think about when you have to get a pap smear, it doesn't really like.
I don't want mine bothered at all.
But I never heard of that one. That's a new one. Okay.
Yeah, I dealt with the kids coming out of it. That's about it. That's all I want done with that. That's it.
That's what I call the inside orgasm. Like, you get somebody tease you on the outside, you get a little good. That's good. That's a nice orgasm. But that inside orgasm hits different.
Yeah, it's a body. It takes over the whole body.
Whole body.
So I'm old now, but I want to ask this question. So, I would like to have an orgasm, but sometimes it really, really fucks me up. Like the whole headache, sometimes I just want to stop just so I can avoid that headache. That shit is crazy. Am I the only one?
Well,
you have a headache when you have an orgasm?
Oh my God.
It's because she's so tense.
Oh yeah. I'm
tense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because my head be pounding.
But you don't have to be tense.
Yeah, because I'm the aggressor. So I'm tense through the whole shit.
Well, when you orgasm, you don't have to be tense. Like you could do breathing exercises when you're orgasming to make yourself relax. And that actually helps your orgasm last longer. And you can, with practice, you can rise your orgasm up and take it down.
Ooh, girl, we got to talk.
But it's like we just go, we immediately like cramp up and like instead of like expanding and taking up space. So yeah, you can just breathe and relax and
I'm trying to think how
your shoulders down.
Take up space.
It takes practice. It takes a whole lot of practice.
So I should practice tonight.
And practice with yourself. Practice with yourself as well. That's going to help you know what it feels like and know what you need to do so that you don't immediately tense up. And that will probably help with those headaches.
So let's get homework.
Yeah, I've always given homework. I love it.
That's good though, because that's the first time I've heard of an orgasm given. That seems like a lot of pressure is on you.
Yeah, I get a headache.
Yeah, but that concerns me because maybe you need to talk to Dr. Haddad about that too, because what is your blood pressure doing? I'm not joking. What is that happen? What is going on with your blood pressure? Mel, speak up. What's going on with the blood pressure?
But those are good questions. That is a good question.
I always get a little headache. I get a little headache immediately after an orgasm, just immediately after, and then it goes away.
Yeah, it does go away.
It goes away. It's just
because I take migraine medicine. I don't get it. You think that's it?
Hold
on. Maybe because me and Celeste are focused.
I'm not winging this.
Focus factor.
But to Natasha's point, I think I make it go faster because I'm so busy trying not to explode my head. I'm really like low key going like this. That's enough.
Yeah,
I'm never doing that. I ain't never doing that. I'm trying to hold on as long as I can, headache or not.
Okay, I need to let it go. As long as I know I'm not going to hemorrhage in the brain or nothing. Maybe
just relax. Just relax. It'll feel so much better, I'm sure.
Relax. Okay.
Relax.
Right, Natasha?
Absolutely. Like I'm telling you, practice with yourself. And when you practice with yourself, then you're able to like pay attention. Sometimes when we're having sex with someone, we're not necessarily paying attention because there's a lot going on. But when you're with yourself, intentionally pay attention when I'm getting ready to orgasm. Or I would even challenge you to do some edging, which is don't get yourself to the point of no return, but stop and see what your body is doing. Where are you tensing? Where's your body? What's your body doing? What is your breath doing? and then once you kind of figure it out, then go back to it. That's actually going to give you a really huge orgasm in itself. When you edge, stop and start and stop and start.
No, my body don't like edging and starting. My body, once I'm
that's a good idea though.
You don't have to cross over right away.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
You have to know where your point of no return is, though.
And I hope everybody that's listening really takes, you know, a playbook, a lesson from this playbook, because honestly, having an orgasm is not easy for a lot of people. They can't even get there.
Right.
Really. We talk about it like it's something. You think about it, Mel and Celeste. Do you not know people that can't even have orgasms?
Oh yeah, this is just recent for me.
Yeah.
I think the toy did help, Ramel. I think that helped me to find my spot, I guess. I can say.
Yes.
Because I was married for 22 years and I literally pretty much, Kim noticed, pretty much had sex every day. And some days it was just like eating breakfast. It was just, okay. I just not in for the enjoyment. I'm in because I got to take care of this business. Come on, let's hurry up. So
I think that would have turned me off from sex. I'm not going to lie. I think that would have turned me off from sex. I would have been like, oh no.
It pretty much did. So that's why
that's a job.
Sometimes y'all hear me talking about sex is not a big deal. It's because it's like, that's a, you know, I'm going to go put this out.
That's how it was for you.
But
so
now,
think about that. That's a sexual concern, and thank God that she's at a point now she can relate to her own body. But when we think about people out here who have concerns, not being able to reach your climax is a concern.
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
a huge concern. We are
for somebody.
And I think it's emotional, right? Sometimes
it is in your head, and when your sole reason is to have an orgasm, that puts way too much pressure on you, and you're no longer in the moment. Like you're not feeling all the other feels that comes with it. Like sometimes other things feel good besides just the orgasm, like the way it feels to feel your breath going up and down, the heat coming off of your face, what it feels like for them to touch from the back of your neck down to your lower back, like paying attention to those sensations, the sensation of what the heat is building up in your abdomen. You're missing out on all of the experience.
But if I do all that and I don't have an orgasm, we got problems.
What the heat is doing.
But if you're paying attention to those things, you're more present, you're more there, you're more likely to have an orgasm. Compared to if you go in there, oh my God, I've got to get this orgasm. Oh, I feel it. It's almost there. It's oh no, he moved over. He did this, and like you're in your head. You're in your head. If you're in your head, how are you in your body?
So when you say right there, and he moves, and you start thinking, you stupid motherfucker.
And then now you're in your head, and so now you're getting upset. Your body's getting upset. You're starting to tense. Everything is shutting down. It's like you're not even there anymore.
And that's why we get up, because it's done.
So what, to that point, what about people who just don't feel good about themselves? They're just not in a good mind space, like their self-esteem is being challenged right now. And these are real, I mean, take ourselves out of the picture right now. Me, Celeste, and Mel. But we're talking about people in general, women in general, who have self-esteem issues. You know what I mean? But they want to feel sexually fulfilled. What advice do you have for them to try to get? I mean, you can't recover them, but what advice do you have for them to start to get on the road to recovery? My advice is buy a dildo and start getting in touch with yourself, you know, because self-love is always the first step, not trying to find somebody else. But you're the expert here, Natasha. Do you meet women like that who are dealing with issues like their own issues that they're saying, I just don't feel good about myself because maybe they've been in some type of tumultuous relationship, you know what I mean? And they're out of it. So now they're in the dating world, but they just don't feel good about themselves. And they want their dating people now. And it becomes, you know, the dating world is different. People are more sexually open, so they have sex quicker. So how does that work out when, you know, I can't just go in this relationship fucking this dude and I ain't getting nothing out of it because now I'm not the damn supermarket aisle number 2. You know what I mean? So you see what I'm saying? But that's what it's gonna become. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
How does that work out for that person? That woman.
I think there's one client, female, that I've worked with that has not had that issue. And if she thinks she doesn't have that issue, once we start talking more, then she realizes she does have that issue. Mm-hmm. Like everything is going to be internal. Like a lot of times without knowing it, or even with knowing it, we think that these external things will give us validation. It'll make us feel good. It'll make us love ourselves. It'll make us happy, peaceful, joyful, whatever we're looking for in that moment. We always think it's an external thing that's going to feed that. It's never going to be an external thing. Mm-hmm. It's always going to be internal, and the external things add to what you've already done for yourself. Mm-hmm. So you could be having sex all the time, but if you're not good within yourself, you don't love yourself, you don't know thyself and close with her, that sex is never going to completely satisfy you because there is a piece missing there, which is you.
And that can go for
love myself a lot.
Yeah, and Mel, you do. And that can go for any
I
age
fuck myself
level.
on a regular basis and no problem.
Yeah, that can go for any age level. Like our younger, we got all of us got younger daughters, and they're young adults, but they're, they could be sexually active at this point because they're young adults. Mel even has a son-in-law, soon to be son-in-law. So at this point, they're at this point in their lives where they have to be able to say self-love has to be an important level to them, because if not, it's easy for them to fall into a trap where they're catering to that man or whoever they're with and lose sight of who they are, and they may never be sexually satisfied. They could just be going through the motions, going through the motions, and then at 45 they say, why did this relationship didn't work? And it had nothing to do with the relationship. It was all about self. You know what I mean? It was all about self because it was never gratified in the first place. You see what I'm saying? So, I think we hit a lot of good points today. I mean, I'm cool. Celeste's cool. Mel is cool. We know Mel cool because I'm like taking some. I got some pointers right here down from Mel. I'm gonna give you what's that model number? That model number you got, Mel? I'm gonna that. They got that on Amazon. We'll get me.
Get you one that plugs into the wall, because I'll never forget the time I ran all around the house looking for batteries, took the damn batteries out the TV remote. That shit don't work.
Well, they're charging. Most of the toys are chargers now. They have USB chargers. So yeah, they're phasing out the plug in the wall.
Yeah, mine's gonna get electrocuted. Maybe that's
nothing gonna be strong as something you plug in the wall. I done moved myself up to that level.
So what you guys have any final thoughts? Because I think this was a really great episode. Mel, you got any final thoughts?
Self-love, self-pleasure, and if you have any sexual concerns, talk to Natasha about it. She can set you straight.
Celeste?
No, I guess the only thing that ran through my mind was, in my earlier years where I still had those old morals that I was fighting with. So I have women that I've been in touch with that still fight through that too. Like, women are not supposed to be so sexual, and we're not supposed to do all of these things. But we'll talk about that the next episode. I can help you help them get over that.
Yeah.
That's right, Celeste.
Because those stories, that is one of the things that I always have to work with clients. Like, is that your story, or is that the first lady's story in your head? Like, when you hear that, whose voice you hear? Is that grandma? Because that's right. That's not coming from you. That's not coming from you.
I'm so glad you said that, Celeste. And we'll talk about that really quick in the after show. I'm so glad you said that. The fact of living under someone else's shadow that overshadows your life, that makes you live not the way you want to live, is really dominant in a lot of people's lives, especially in the Black culture. You think about how we live. To be sexually forward has been deemed as being promiscuous, you know what I mean? And we think about that. That's a sexual concern, you know what I mean? That doesn't mean that we don't love ourselves. So that's really, really huge. So I'm when you say the first lady, hell, I'm telling you, I don't have nothing against first ladies. I got a lot of cool friends who are first ladies, and I think they're down to earth. But there's a lot of first ladies that are out here wondering why their husband is over there screwing the lady in that front row. And I mean, I'm being honest. They're doing things that are
supposed to be done.
yes, it's not right. And you know, and I just say people gonna be people. You can live like you want to, or you can live under somebody else's shadow. Whatever makes you happy, I'm gonna be happy. You can choose the way you get your happiness any way you want. But I don't live for other people. So that's a really big point. So Natasha, in closing, do you have any final words for us?
No, just there's nothing wrong with anybody. Like anyone who's listening and feels like I have a dysfunction or I have an issue, there's something wrong with me. Like there's nothing wrong with you. Like you are enough. You are worthy. You're perfect as you are. You just have to keep being curious about you. That's literally all it is, being curious about your mind, your body, your spirit, your soul. And eventually everything will align itself and you will have great sex as a result.
Great sex. That sounds like a commercial.
Yeah,
Well, this concludes our episode. I hope everybody had a good time. We had a good time tonight.
Yeah.
Check us out every Wednesday when we drop a new episode. So thank you for joining us on the porch tonight. I'm your girl, Kimmy. And joining us tonight is
Ramel
And Celeste.
and our girl, Natasha. She's joining us. Thank you for joining us on the porch tonight. So this is Let's Chit Chat says, have a great week on purpose, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Good night.